Living in a quiet, gated community had always appealed to me. Peaceful streets, trimmed hedges, and friendly neighbors who mostly kept to themselves. That was until Karen moved in. Karen wasn't just any neighbor. She was the self-declared eyes and ears of the HOA. If a garbage can sat out 5 minutes too long, she was on it. If someone parked too close to the curb, she snapped a photo. She believed every minor infraction was a personal insult to the sanctity of the neighborhood. But the real storm began one weekend when my daughter visited. My daughter comes home. My daughter Maya had taken a break from work to spend a few days with me. She's always been calm, composed, and sharp as a tack. At 38, she holds one of the highest-ranking positions in her agency, an FBI field commander overseeing several units. But you'd never guess it from how she carried herself. Casual hoodie, jeans, minimal makeup, and a firm handshake. She pulled up in her standard-issue black SUV and parked legally outside my home. Not 5 minutes later, as we sat drinking coffee on the porch, a familiar shrill voice cut through the air. "Excuse me! Excuse me!" Karen stormed across the lawn like she owned the place. "Yes," I replied, keeping my tone neutral. "That woman is parked illegally, and she's loitering. She doesn't look like she lives here." I raised an eyebrow. "That's my daughter, Karen." Karen scoffed. "Well, she didn't use the guest registry, and I don't appreciate strange people parking government-looking vehicles outside my window." Maya stood slowly, keeping calm. "Is there a problem?" Karen gave her a once-over and said with her usual disdain, "You don't belong here, and I'm calling community security right now." The call and the confrontation. Karen stormed back to her home, phone glued to her ear. Within 10 minutes, two security guards pulled up in a golf cart, clearly uneasy with what they'd been told. They approached Maya. "Ma'am, we received a report of suspicious activity and need to verify your presence here." Maya gave them a small smile and calmly pulled a slim black leather case from her back pocket. "Before we continue," she said, opening it, "I need you to know that I am a special agent in charge with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Here's my badge and identification. I'm visiting my father. I'm parked legally. If you'd like, I can radio in your names to our liaison department to verify my jurisdiction." The silence was immediate. The two security guards' eyes widened as they inspected her badge. One of them stammered, We didn't know." Karen said, "She told us it was a civilian matter." Maya replied professionally, "That's why it's important to verify before assuming." Karen's meltdown. Karen, still lurking from her porch, noticed the sudden shift. She marched back over. "Well, are you arresting her or not?" One of the guards turned to her, still pale. "Karen, she's FBI. She has clearance to be here, and then some." Karen's face contorted. "She's lying. Anyone can print a badge." That's when Maya's demeanor subtly shifted. Her voice stayed even, but there was now steel in her tone. "Karen, making false reports to law enforcement or impersonating concerns with malice is a crime. I suggest you reconsider the path you're heading down." Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Then, without another word, she spun around and stormed back home, slamming her door hard enough to rattle windows. The fallout. The HOA president later came by to apologize. Turns out Maya's credentials had reached their office through an official incident report. Apparently, Karen had made multiple complaints against various residents, but this time she crossed a serious line. Karen received an official warning from the HOA and was told that if she falsely reported another resident again, legal action would be taken. She's been notably quieter since. The takeaway. Karen assumed my daughter was just another stranger in the neighborhood. She didn't expect that calm woman in jeans to be one of the most powerful law enforcement officials in the state. Someone who commands agents, signs off on operations, and has the legal authority to investigate people like her. Maya didn't need to yell or escalate. She simply showed the truth and let Karen sink in it. Sometimes the quietest person in the room holds the most power, and sometimes the ones who scream the loudest are the ones most in need of a reality check.